Hello again, people. We are back. I am back. So there is a fly in here. It's really annoying me. Okay, today I am going to be finishing the top of the room box. So I've printed out quite a few of these top book parts, and obviously they're not the same size as what I want, but you know, that's easily done. As you can see, you cut them up. So you cut off one end of what would be the cover as you're looking down on it, measure up how far. Now obviously I want this over slightly. I have no idea what I've done with the covers. Oh, they're here. So it wants to go over slightly, but not a lot. And then you stick this bit back on. So let's cut this down to size. I'm going to have to take this jewellery off, aren't I? Sorry, I'm going to de-jewellery myself. It's distracting anyway. Oh, the cat one can stay. Right. Glue. And I think what I'm going to do is just glue it straight down. So, glue brush. As you can see, I've had the cats up here. There's a cat hair on there. And like I said, this one goes slightly over. And I haven't taken it right down to the bottom because I thought that maybe, you know, it wouldn't matter because I painted it black. And so now I want to... Okay, no more glue left on there. This is how lazy I'm being today. And it goes this way, obviously. There we go, and line it up with the edge of the book here. And now what I'm going to do is just quickly go over this with a little bit of glue, just to seal it, because I didn't want to use my Mod Podge, because Mod Podge quite often will wrinkle this up. Not that I mind too much. If I had thought about this beforehand, I would have made these books slightly taller, so that they come up over. I mean, I may redo them in the future, but you know, it is what it is for now. So next, the reason why these are printed out differently is because I wanted different colour books to represent the different coloured books. So the next one is a greeny coloured one, and I have already started cutting that off. So it goes about there. This is how precise I'm being. It goes about there. Okay, don't lose that bit. This bit then goes here, and it goes to about there. And as you can see, I'm not doing this particularly straight. I'm not being particularly fussy about it, and that's fine by me. Okay, so this one goes here. Bit of glue over the top to seal it, and then this can go onto it. if I had made this slightly differently, I would have, like if these were at the back and this was the opening side, these would have been right up and shaped. I would have kept the curve at the end, this curve. So next is a red one. I'm sure I had a red one that was already, yep, there we go. Red one. Oh, that's going to be fine as it is. I shouldn't have even bothered cutting that bit off. Oh no, I've already cut this one down, that's why it's a good size. So this is why I wanted to put the door on first, so that I could see, I could line these up to the books. It's all fair and good having them, you know, as books fine, but it's nice to have them lined up, you know, rather than just randomly placed. Where's my, there it is. Ooh, haven't cut this one down. Okay. Let's lock that bit off. Next is another black book. So I have a black one here. It's going to need a little bit taking off. So there you go. I'm going to cut off just that bit there. Measure it up to where it needs to be. It's going to be cut about there. Then, actually that might be a little bit long. Let's cut a bit more off. Yeah, that's better. Then I need to measure it up. It's going to be about there. See, I'm not being hugely precise, and I'm freestyling it, freehanding it. So it's not going to be hugely exact anyway, and anything that's overhung here, I think I will just cut off when I'm done. If I try to cut it with the glue being wet, I will only make a mess. I know what I'm like. So as you can see, this is relatively easy. It's not exactly difficult. It's not taxing in any way. But if the books were slightly higher, the book spines were slightly higher, this would be extremely effective. It does look really good if it's done properly, as I did on my last one. I did do it properly there. I just realised I cut this one down slightly, didn't I? I did. Just a little bit. Oh, it's just started to rain outside. Lovely. Need a bit of rain, saves me watering the garden. Saves me time and money. Okay, next we have another red book. And do I want to cut that down? Oh, it needs to be cut down ever such a little tiny bit. So here we go. Line this up, bend it over. Oh, it sounds lovely when it rains out there. Oh, too much glue. make it to the end. Look. Okay, this one. Then let's put this back on. And then last but not least, I'm going to use another one of these green ones as the end cover, and I'm going to cut this side this time. I'm going to cut the opposite side so that this can hang over nicely on the edge. Like I said, it only takes a little tiny bit of overhang. It's probably not even a 1/16 of an inch, to be honest. And oh dear, now that was silly, wasn't it? There's me thinking I won't put it there because the glue's wet, and I just pulled up that. Never mind. Ay, 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 ay. See, there are times when I am not very thoughtful. Okay, so we need to cut this one off at about somewhere around about there. Okay, let's hang that over the edge slightly, but not too much. That's probably too much. Like I said, it only needs to go slightly over the edge. I can't believe I did that. So what I might do is just cut out another one of those. I do have a spare somewhere. I have spares. I don't know if I can take this one off, because I don't want it to be too bulky. See, I like making mistakes on my crafting videos because it just goes to show that, you know, everyone makes mistakes. What did I do with, oh, I stuck it on there already. Oh my word, I am just not doing very well, am I? Okay, we're going to go here, we're going to go here. Got to remember to stick that bit on as well. Oh, this only takes a little tiny bit off the end. That might be too much, but we shall see how it goes. Oh, that'll be all right. No, needs to be down further. Ay, 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 ay. There we go. And then this bit on the top. What I may do is when I finish doing this, I may just go over with the edge of a knife and just tidy up this edge slightly, and then I will probably ink it to make it oh, that's too much, yeah, just to make it neat. Where did I put it? There it is. And that goes that way round. There we go. And that's the top, apart from a few little bits and pieces, all done. Pop that in my water, make sure it doesn't get stuck. Okay, so that's how the top is done, and you see it's not too, like I said, it would have been better if this was slightly higher, but it has the desired effect. It looks okay, I think. So now it's time to start sticking things inside. So I need to change this light slightly. Ugh. There we go. And think about putting the walls together. Now I know that I have to put the back wall in first. Because that is a snug fit. So the back wall goes in first. Then there is the door, which I may take a slither off of just to make sure that it can stay in. So I'm going to take a tiny bit off the bottom. So I'm taking about a 1/16 of an inch off the bottom, and I'm going to take a tiny bit. The reason why I've decided to take it off the bottom is because I will be putting flooring on, and it needs to be above the flooring. And I'm taking even less off the side, just a tiny little sliver off the side, just so that it fits in really nicely. And it does. I'm liking that. I'm liking it a lot. It's turned out really exactly as I imagined it to be, so I'm really pleased with that. I'm going to stick this in the back. You don't have to watch me do that. Then I'm going to stick on the window side here, but first of all I'm going to repaint that bit there, because it's, you can see the paint will come off. So I'm going to repaint this bit here. I'm going to sand it a little bit. I'm going to repaint it, and then I'm going to put this on. And I know I did say I was going to have shutters, but then I thought to myself, the shutters are going to be on the outside, you wouldn't see them. So no shutters. So for now, this is it. Right. The inside has been glued here. This has been glued on. This has been glued on. And I've glued this one on. I haven't done the fireplace yet because, well, the fireplace paneling, because I haven't actually done the fireplace yet, and I want to put it all in together. I have also completed the sides, and I put on there, the same as I did on the top, a layer of glue, which looks a lot more shinier actually on camera than it does in real life. So like I said, if I thought about it and did it again, I would have these slightly higher, and I think that would be perfect then, but it's okay. So now what I have left to do, I've got my little bits of furniture just over here, and anyone who remembers me making my Raven album will remember this little Raven, and I was going to use this in here, but he is slightly too big. I mean, he's not, if you think about it. I mean, ravens are big birds, but he is too big for this room. The problem I had, or I thought I had, was the space I have above the door isn't a lot for a bust and then the bird, but the bird's not going to take up too much room. So I think that's enough space to make a bust. That's a good inch, so that should be enough. the bust, a lot of people get slightly confused, because the bust in the poem, The Raven, the bust is described as the bust of Pallas, Pallas, I do believe. Now, I don't know for sure, but the way I interpret that is Pallas Athena, and it's a bust of Athena with the helmet on. And in the poem, I think it's supposed to represent the fact that the man who lives in this house, who owns the bust, it's to show that he is knowledgeable. He has some intelligence and some learning. To me, that's what it is. Anyway, not that you will want to hear about the poem. So what I have left to do is I have left to do the actual fireplace. I have cut a bit off this side as well, as I also did on this side, just to fit it in. So I have to do the fireplace, put this on the wall and the ceiling, and make a bust. Those are my main objectives now. So I'm going to design a fireplace. This is my plan. I'm going to cut it all out, and then I will put it together with the measurements on camera, so that you all know what the measurements are. So this is a terrible habit of mine. I put glue on my hand when I've got a little bit of gluing to do. It's like, oh, I can't be bothered to find anything to put the glue on. I shall just put the glue on my hand, which is what I do, and you really shouldn't, because I wouldn't say, like I said before, I'm not allergic to glue, but I am intolerant towards a lot of it. There we go. So I shouldn't do that. Okay, floors, ceilings, fireplace. I'm going to keep this out so that I know I can fit it, sort of like dry fit it and have a look. So that's it for now. I'll be back with the fireplace. For me it'll be ages, for you it won't be long. So I have some bits and pieces here, just a few bits and pieces that I cut out, and the idea is this is Cricut Kraftboard. It's basically, it's a bit like mount board actually. It's quite a thick card that's quite dense in the centre, and I chose black because I thought it'd be easier in the long run for me. And I just cut out a few layers, and I'm going to glue it together. Then I will then what am I going to do? Then I'm going to brain fart. I'm going to cover it in super glue. Where did that bit come from? Oh dear. Or is that card? That could be card. No. Oh no, there's another bit up there. Oh, that bit came from in there. Okay. So I have the bottom layer is the size of the fireplace, which is 3 by 4¼ inches, and all I've done is I've come in a tad under. No, let's try doing it the right way around. A tad. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9/16 of an inch each side. So the inside measures roughly, oh dear, why do I do this to myself? 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 1 13/16 of an inch across, and oh, that's a lot easier. 2 3/4 inches down. So that's the first one, bottom layer. The next layer is this one. Now this has a slight gap either side, so it's only come in ½ inch, so the centre is 2 inches across, and height wise the gap, the height of the space is 3¼ inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer those one on top of another and glue them together. Now I know it's quite difficult for you to see because it's black on black, but bear with me, it will probably be okay. Now I need, you'll do, I'm going to tip out all my little spare bits and pieces and I'm actually going to put this together with wood glue. Just flicked the top off. I love Gorilla Wood Glue. I use it for so many different things. It's just the best glue ever. Where's my lid gone? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to find my lid. So for the rest of the video I have lost the audio, so I shall just narrate over it. So I'm taking those layers, all 3 layers, and stacking them up one on top of another just with simple glue. It's just my Gorilla Glue there. Now the inside bit, the space that was cut out of there, is 2¼ by 3¼ inches. And I want to cut it down, just to cut 1/8 inch off each side to 2 1/8 by 5/8 inch. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this little triangle, this rectangle, sorry, and cut it down, and then I'm going to centre it into the middle of the gap that it was taken out of. I hope that's clear. So there it goes, that's what it looks like. Right, oh, I broke it. I totally broke that fire. Anyway, next I am adding on the side bits. Now those side bits are 3/8 inch wide and obviously 4¼ inches long. I'm just adding 1 strip to each side. Okay, so next I'm taking 3 of those same strips and I'm going to layer them up, and I'm going to do that twice. So 3 strips, and that is going to be the sides of the fireplace, the fire surround. So once again, that's the 3/8 inch strips. They're 3/8 inch by 4¼ and I'm just layering them up, and now I'm going to glue them onto the back of the fire front that I've just made. So I'm going to turn that over, and all I'm going to do is, and I did fluff around a bit, deciding whether I was going to have it poking out slightly, but I didn't. I put them flush to the edge in the end, so they are on the back of that piece that we've just made with all the layers on. So I'm going to just get my glue, put it along the edge, and because there's 3 layers, that should be plenty thick enough just to hold that there. Excuse me. Do that to both sides, and then after all that's done, I think I'm going to make the little sloping bits at the sides So I've taken some of these. Now these are the squares that were cut out from the base bit from the hole, from that bottom hole, and I made a few pieces, but they are the same size as the hole, and I thought they would be useful to make things with. So I need to make this, I need to make the top of it, but I'm not going to do that right now. I need to make those sloping sides, so I'm going to measure it with a pencil and then just cut it down, and it ends up being 1/2 inch wide by the height of that hole, and the height of that hole, I think I've got it written down somewhere, is 2 5/8. So it's 2 5/8 of an inch high and 1/2 inch wide. Now I'm going to leave that there because I can't stick those on there without some kind of support. So after I've made these, and I cut out 4 and layered them 2 lots of 2. So these pieces are just 2 thicknesses each, and that is the sloping side bits. Quite easily done. There's no, I just scored that bit, folded it back on itself, cut it again just to, so that I knew I'd have the same size. Just layered it all up, made sure all the edges were nice, neat and tidy. So that was all that done. After that I decided that I would have to make this bracing part across the top. So I got one of those 3/8 of an inch strips, and I cut it down roughly to size, and then I realised that when I glued it in there I was going to need to brace the back of it with something, so I decided to use scrap bits of paper. I glued the scrap bits of paper on the back, leaving a tiny little gap so that I could fit that, if you like, the ceiling of the hole in. So I layered up all these little pieces of scrap paper, and then I could place in, there you go, the top bit, and it was quite secure. I think I added a few more pieces after that, but it was pretty secure, and that was good. Then I decided that I was going to put the back on, so it was the full size of the back, which is 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and I glued that on, and that made that lovely and, you know, just square. Then it was time to start fitting. There you go. So nice and neat. Now it's time to start fitting those diagonal side pieces. So I grabbed my tweezers in a minute, and I'm just going to sort of like glue them in at a slight angle. The only problem here was really trying to make them even. I'm not very good at doing things in an even sort of way, but I sort of dry fitted it first to see what it would look like, and decided it was going to look really lovely. It doesn't end up quite as neat and tidy as that. There is glue involved here. So yeah, so I'll take the 2 side bits that I made that were 1/2 inch wide, and I glued them just underneath those edge bits so that they couldn't be seen. Took a little bit of fluffing around, but I did do it in the end. So that was really nicely done. Very easy. No problems. And then I just tidied up the edges with a stick there, a lollipop stick, and just to scrape the glue off, because you don't want the glue on the outside, because if it dries it forms little lumps and it's really hard to get rid of. So when that was all done nice and neatly, the end product was actually pretty good. Straightening it up. There, so it turned out pretty even. I was quite pleased with it. Looks okay. So the only other thing that I decided to do after this was the strips that I had at the for the sides. I cut them down. I just took a little slither off of the side and cut off 3/8 of an inch and attached them to each side, just so that there's this extra decorative strip down the side. So it's slightly narrower than the narrowest piece there by about 1/16 of an inch, and 3/8 of an inch shorter, so it's off the bottom of. So oh, excuse me, I think I'm going to leave it there today. Here are the strips that I added on. As you can see, I was trying to explain it. They are about 1/16 of an inch taken off, and I kind of took them in slightly at each side, so they're centre to that previous strip that we stuck on the edge there, and they are 3/8 of an inch shorter on the bottom, so there's a gap here. So I'm going to leave it at that today, and I will finish this tomorrow after I've edited the heck out of this video so that it's not 2 hours long. So there are a lot of quick clips. As you've watched it, I expect there will be a lot of quick clips. So there we have it. That is it for now, and I will be back tomorrow to finish off this fireplace, including these little half pieces that I made. I didn't make them myself. I designed them and cut them out on the Cricut. So bye for now. Back soon.